rewrite those pages. That first page I end up rewriting 30 times, I swear.
Could you elaborate a little bit more? Is that going to be...
It's an important opening to the season, and there is a good reason for Isaac's memories. It's only of what happened in that specific event that's the memory he's lost. But it's very important. It's explored within the first 2 episodes why he doesn't remember and the importance of why he doesn't remember. But it leads into a great action scene involving some alphas chasing the 2 of them on motorcycles. It's a pretty adventurous scene and ambitious for us.
Following kind of on that, will it be important for any other characters that the Hallmarks can take away or share memories? Mainly take away, I guess.
Yeah, it's a special skill, and you're going to learn a little bit more about it in the 2nd episode, and kind of a dangerous one to learn, so I don't want to give away too many secrets, but it provides some fun scenes for us to come.
I'm very excited about this pack of alphas that's coming in.
Great.
And you teased a little bit about the female alpha. Is there anything you can tell us about her? Like, non-spoilery, of course, but...
She's, in the room, we kind of refer to her as our Bond villain. We want to have a lot of fun with her, and we're hoping we get a great athletic actress to play her. It's definitely going to be a pretty action-packed role. So I love strong female characters, and they're especially fun when you can have a great female villain. So I think she'll be fun.
So talking about one absent person, female on the show, Mrs. Stilinski. Now you were asked via Twitter, how did she die? And her response was slowly.
Slowly.
Can we have any more hints? Are we going to learn about her? I assume that's maybe a story.
Relevant.
I think we'll learn a little bit more about her this season, and possibly in second half of our larger season, the full 24 episodes. We've got a great full arc for Stiles' character that kind of begins in the first 12 and has a huge payoff in the second 12. We've plotted things way ahead. My co-executive producer and I went off to Greece for a kind of, we called it a work vacation, and plotted out 24 episodes together. Not all episodes, but we plotted out big arcs for the 24. So I think you'll definitely learn more about her.
And would there possibly be a chance for a Stiles flashback episode?
I would love to do that. You might see that in the second set of 12. So that would definitely be fun.
And question, I heard rumors Colin Hayes is not coming back. Is that true?
Yes, we addressed that in the panel, actually. I spoke with Colton last night, and he confirmed to me that he's not coming back this season. I love Colton. I think he's a great guy, and he's a great friend of mine, and we're going to miss him, and I wish he was coming back, but I also have to respect if he feels like he's ready to move on. And I think someone as talented as Colton is not going to have any trouble finding work. So if this is really his final decision, then we'll respect it. And I told him last night, I said, if you decide to come back, he knows there's a great entrance for him.
Is there a flashback or any replacement for his character? Or?
We won't replace his character. What I'd like to do is, since it was just last night that I heard the official word from him, I'd like to be able to craft it so that he can come back. But I'd love to leave the door open. So there's no hard feelings at all. So I guess if it was contentious, I'd probably say, oh, he got his head chopped off. But since we all love him and he's family, he's always welcome back.
Are there any secrets of Jackson that may have like a slow boil that makes him awesome?
There was, we had a really big arc for him this season that I'm a little disappointed we may not be able to explore now. But in the case that he changes his mind, I'll keep it in my back pocket.
Okay, yeah.
There was a really good secret, and it had to do with the Alpha Pack.
One thing I've always found so remarkable about your series is the introduction of new supernatural elements never seems forced. It always is so natural and it fits in. How do you decide on what the next supernatural creature or aspect you're going to introduce?
Usually through research. I love basing it on real things. With the Kanima, it was a South American myth about a rare jaguar who only went after murderers, and it was an idea I had all the way back in the pilot. I knew where I was going to take Jackson's character, and that was one of the reasons I really wanted to lock him down for a second season. We got a movie at one point. I was in agony over it, and then eventually came back because I knew I wanted to do that. I knew it was going to be a fun way to introduce the world of shape-shifting to our universe, not just werewolves, but shape-shifters, and that somehow the most noble form of a shapeshifter is a werewolf. And that in order to become a werewolf, he first had to go through this kind of limbo stage, this redemption stage, and that's why he becomes a beautiful blue-eyed werewolf in the end. We give him this glorious transformation. It was nice to see it work out so well. But in the third season, you're going to see a new mystery that is based on stuff we've hinted at from the very first season on.
Will we see any other types of shapeshifters?
You'll have to wait and see.
In the supernatural, certain people speculate that maybe Styles could be magic. We saw him with the Mount
Right.
Dash.
I answered this in an interview before, so I'll give you a similar answer, which is, to me, Styles is like Perseus. He is someone who has gifts bestowed upon him by the gods and can use those supernatural gifts, but isn't quite supernatural himself. He's still a mortal human being. I like the idea that Styles can use those gifts when given to him, but he's still the normal guy. He is essentially the Sam to Scott's Frodo. He is the one who is based in real life, and to me, he needs to be a normal boy. But we will see him. His gifts are his intelligence and his cunning and his smarts.
You hinted at Lydia has some big things coming up.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what might be in store for her?
I can say that there's a definite reason that she is tied to the world of the supernatural, and she will become crucial to both the mystery that unfolds in this first set of 12 episodes and to Scott, actually. So you'll be seeing more scenes with her and Scott as they become sort of tied together, not necessarily romantically, but within solving the mystery of the season. So Lydia has her talents that are going to be slowly discovered, and it's very much going to be a season of her finding her voice and her power.
Along those lines of Lydia, is her immunity to the bite, is that part of like family history? Is that part of the mystery of season 3?
Part of the mystery.
Part of the mystery.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I got to be cagey with this one. She's a really fun actor to write for. Holland is one of the best pros I've ever seen. She never complains. We shot with her for like 3 days in a shower where the water was alternately freezing cold and scalding hot.
What's going to happen now that the Catamines have been revealed and kind of defeated, and between Scott and they kind of teamed up for kind of the
Yeah.
evidence?
Well, one of the things I said this at the panel, one of the things we wanted to do was fulfill the promise of the very first episode of the show, where Derek says to him, we're brothers now. So in the first half of the season, you're going to see them very much working as a team. I think they have good chemistry. There's sort of a big brother, little brother chemistry, but Scott has proved himself in Derek's eyes now. And at a certain point, Derek has to say, look, Scott, I'm on your side now. So we're going to see them working together, especially in the third episode, which is really action-packed, where they're going to be running through the woods side by side, chasing certain characters.
Are we going to see more of Peter Hale, and what is his role going to be in everything?
Absolutely, more of Peter Hale. I said to when he shot his resurrection scene, I said to Ian, best compliment an actor can ever get, being brought back from the dead, and he was very happy about it. He was just too good to keep dead.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot of his slyness, a lot of his sarcastic wit is going to come back. I like having that kind of voice in the show because there are certain commentary, especially in a teen show, that can't really ever take itself too seriously. So we're gonna have fun with Peter too. So he doesn't make his entrance until the second episode, but it's a good entrance.
Speaking of possibly dead characters, is there any chance Matt returns?
No chance at the moment, but he was a really good actor too. One of the great things about Steven is he thought he was just going to end up another dead body, and when it was revealed at the end of episode 9 who he actually was, he was so shocked. He came up to me, he's like, I had no idea. And I said, well, get ready because you're going to have a lot of lines to memorize in episode 10. He's a great kid.
Is there going to be any more mystery and fantasy, like versus
Say that again?
more fantasy and mystery, or romance, like with on season 3? What are we going to see more?
You're going to see more of, I think, one of the things we're trying to do is make it a little scarier this season, actually. There was a lot of action last season, we still have plenty of fights, but we really want to go back to horror and scares as well, sort of similar to the first season, where we did quite a bit of that, I think. We had some of it, but I think we delved more into the Buffy style of action last season. I'd like to go back to a little bit more horror and suspense this season, so we'll definitely see more of that.
Have you based any of your inspiration off of the old werewolf movies, the past, or any horror movies?
Initially, yes. We used a lot of the tropes and a lot of the themes of werewolf movies, of the metaphors of sexuality. But we've kind of, now that we're in the third season, we've kind of gone off on our own. I think what we did in season 2 was we went into superhero myth almost, where Scott very much became Peter Parker and his alter ego Spider-Man, and now it's going to be a little different this season. But I remember when I was talking about the story with Renee Echevarria, who was executive producer on the pilot, and we always considered it kind of a Spider-Man story. Yeah.
What other producers, directors, shows, movies have influenced how you push on
Well, for TV, I would definitely say Joss Whedon and Vince Gilligan and Chris Carter, X-Files and Buffy and Breaking Bad. Those are some of the best shows on TV. I really love those shows. I just recently got into Homeland, and I love the way they dole out that mystery, and the characters are so vibrant and dimensional. It's incredible. As for movies, the style of writing of James Cameron. I remember seeing the original Terminator when I was a kid and just being sucked into that world. And the way he was actually able to make in Aliens both a horror movie and an action movie. So that's kind of what we go for. I always say The Lost Boys was a huge influence on this show because it combined great humor with scares. It made it fun. I get my influences from many places, but I'm a big fan of populist, commercial fiction and movies. Stephen King in terms of novels, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, all those kind of great horror novelists and suspense novelists.